What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Three Wide Podcast, hosted by myself, Ethan Reich, along with the Ferrari man, back at it again. What's going on, bro?
Oh man, not much. Just Ferrari winning here, Ferrari winning there. Too many wins. Sometimes you gotta tone down the wins and let the other players win, because
Yeah,
otherwise it wouldn't be fair.
but Sainz
You know how
started
it
the
is.
pole, won the race. 30-second gap to second place.
Absolutely, he didn't even break a sweat, bro. Did not break
Yeah,
a
and then
sweat.
you and
You
then you
already
woke
know.
and then you woke up, right?
No. I shit shouldn't have
Well,
woken up.
today we had the USA Grand Prix, and what a race it was. It had everything in there. Great overtakes, insane crashes, safety cars, you name it, it had it. Crazy strategy. Let's just get right into the race because wow, was it amazing. So we had Carlos uh, we had Carlos Sainz start.
Don't do it like that, bro. Come on, bro. He was trying hard, bro. He was pushing.
Yeah, so we had Carlos Sainz on pole position, starting next to Max Verstappen, both Mercedes in 3-4, respectfully. And yeah, Carlos Sainz a little slow off the line compared to Max. Carlos Sainz getting a little bit of wheel spin, and then went very very wide into turn one, wanting to I guess get a more straighter line off the corner, like square up the corner, get a better exit. He did exit all right. Right into the Mercedes. Bro,
To
Russell.
be fair, though, Russell did pull out right through him like a tractor on a trailer, bro.
Russell T-boned him more than my T-bone steaks at Outback Steakhouse. I mean, it was quite frankly insane. I mean, I think both drivers have a little bit of fault to them. Like, they could both take accountability away, but definitely more on the Russell side of things. I mean, bro locked up and just went right into Sainz. But in Russell's defense, Sainz was overtaking, right? And you could see on the replay, moreover, that Sainz was starting to accelerate away and then kind of hesitated to, I think, pull around Max Verstappen. And in doing so, he opened him up to more of a collision, more probability of getting hit by Russell, which is what happened. I don't think Sainz wasn't ready for the lockup that George Russell was going to have. And yeah, with Sainz going wide at first and then braking and cutting back over to the inside, that allowed Russell to tag him, leading to him spinning Sainz out. Where we all think, oh, Sainz will just be in 20th and, restart the race and maybe he could get back into it. But it was later confirmed that he had a water leak and hydraulics issue due to the collision with Russell. Russell also had a damaged front wing that kind of compromised him throughout the race, but would also later receive a 5-second penalty for his troubles. Your thoughts on the lap one incident between Russell and Sainz coming from the Ferrari man himself?
Honestly, the 5 seconds was a joke. A joke. What a joke the 5 seconds was. I would have slapped him honestly like a 1 minute time penalty for that. Because that was bro literally went into him like a rocket ship. A rocket ship. And that's ridiculous, bro. Honestly, what are we doing here? What are we doing here?
Ferrari fucking stand. You're not even a fan.
Bro, we were P2! We can't even complete a corner! What are we doing here?
Actually, you're a P1.
Alright, same thing. Because it doesn't matter, because we still can't even finish P1 or P2 anymore, bro. What are we doing? This is ridiculous, honestly. I might as well slap a 30-minute timer on Max Verstappen. He'll still win the race.
That was a pretty smooth up-and-into move from Sainz. Smooth spin.
Bro.
Nah, it was sad, though, in all
I'm
seriousness.
gonna operate on George's head after this, bro, honestly.
You're a fan of Russell.
Not anymore! Can't just go into a Ferrari. It's a Ferrari. We'll go into it.
It was a shit box then. After that turn one.
No, the shit box.
Oh, that's
Fucking
unlucky.
silver arrows.
I think it could have been avoided. To be fair, I think Sainz could have maybe went off the track on the outside.
he would have gotten a black and white flag for that,
No. A black and white flag is when you have 3 warnings, I think. You receive 2 black and white flags, and then you get a penalty for 5 seconds.
Yeah, so to get the first one, you need to go off the track. All 4 tires have to be off the track.
No, but you first get a warning before a black and white flag.
Yeah.
So, no, but
they should have warned Russell beforehand.
You're allowed to go off the track on lap 1, turn 1, because you're kind of avoiding a collision. As long as you don't gain like an insane advantage, but.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, if I was Russell, I'd rather have gone off the track instead of go into the car, because I'm pretty sure that
Sainz broke and then decided to back out of the move and go on the inside of Verstappen, which made him more in the line of fire that George Russell was getting himself into.
Yeah, he broke all right. He broke his race.
Yeah, he used Sainz to break. But yeah, so another lucky start for Ferrari. But they would soon get back into the race, which we will cover later. But great start for Aston Martins, getting up to a 3-5. Their race also really going well for Lance Stroll, finishing P3, holding position. Psych.
Finishing P3.
No, I'm joking.
Boy.
No,
you crazy boy. Finishing P3.
Aston Martins looked really, really fast, and we haven't seen pace. I don't remember seeing pace like this, race pace like this in a while from Aston Martin.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing race pace from the Green Bull.
They were quick.
You mean the Green Bull? The Green Bull. That's what I'm calling it, the Green Bull. Because they had the pace of a Red Bull, but they're green, so there's a Green Bull. No?
Really? Oh wow.
Yeah, the Green Bull.
Yeah.
And then today, the Red Bull, I'm just gonna call it Blue Bull from now on, because it has more blue than red, so it's a blue bull.
Yeah, Aston Martin's like.
I can't, bro. I can't.
They looked really.
How you spin in turn 1, bro? I still can't wrap my head around this. How you spin in turn 1?
You know what did wrap? Sainz wrapped his head because he had to spin, and his head kind of.
Bro wrapped his head around the corner, literally.
I know, but no. Back to the Aston Martin. So they had a really, really good showing. They had a lot of pace this weekend, they're usually a pretty good qualifying team, right? But you would always see them mainly move backwards in the race, or like around like the lower end of the points. If things went their way, Aston Martin could have fought for like P5, P6. But
wait, hold on. Did you say pretty good qualifying? Hold on a second, mate. Hold on. Considering that Vettel was not qualifying very well, the last, I think, previous. I'm saying like Stroll, at least previous races.
Qualifying.
Well, Stroll's just strolling around,
Not today. He was flying.
Well, today he was flying. He was more than strolling.
Him and Vettel were out to a really, really good start, and there was promising signs from Aston Martin. They were keeping the pace well. In front of
surprisingly, that was scary too.
Not past Russell, they looked really, really good. But yeah, their race would quickly be dampered later on. But also Hamilton, them upgrades seemed to work early on. He was able to stay within like 2 seconds, 3 seconds of Max Verstappen. Max wasn't really allowed to like pull away, even though 3 seconds is a huge gap. The Mercedes was keeping pace, and I would just love to know what Mercedes could have done in earlier races if they had the upgrades they got for this race weekend. Maybe they could have challenged in places like, I don't know, maybe Singapore or maybe Hungary where they qualified really well, especially George getting that P1. I just wonder if they had these upgrades earlier on, the results could have gone a different way. Maybe this car wouldn't run away with results that we've seen it have run away with in past weekends. But yeah, Mercedes looked quick early on. Both Mercedes, I mean George, that incident and the penalty probably dampened his mood a little bit. I'm sure he wanted to get more out of the race, but Hamilton looked like a man on a mission, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, he was driving. Like, I mean, he was.
Oh no shit!
He was just strolling around. But about the penalties, yeah, I would have definitely would have stopped in more penalties if I was the FIA. Would have given a 5 second, another additional 5 second. I don't know, let's do another
The
additional
5 seconds is
5 seconds.
a joke.
What a joke, bro. What a joke. Honestly.
But
Fucking
yeah,
hell, man. What are we doing here?
so yeah,
I still can't get over the fact that we can't even complete one turn without having a disaster. It's just really hard, bro, you know? Like, you have a top team, you have a top car, you have top drivers, and then you have people named George Russell flying right into you, bro, like fucking, what's it called? Like, literally, like a bunch of silver arrows coming out of a bow, bro, honestly.
but yeah, we also had Sergio Perez making contact through the S's in the first sector with, I believe, was it Lando? I think he made contact with, and that allowed him to later on.
Was it Lando?
It was somebody, maybe an Alpha, maybe it was an Alpha. I can't quite remember, but it led to
Yeah.
Perez losing his right end plate on his front wing.
It was weight reduction. It was a part of the weight reduction plan. You know how it
I thought
is.
it would really hamper him because Court is a very high aerodynamic circuit, right? You have the S section, you have that triple right hander, the triple right apex, the double right apex is pretty tough going to the left. Turn 12, big braking zone, a really tight corner. A lot of these high braking, low speed corners that could easily be harder to manage and navigate on a broken end plate. But Perez seemed to keep his pace and sometimes even improve with that broken end plate. Saw a lot of good driving from him.
That's the Minister of Defense for you. The Minister of Defense administering the defense. You know?
Yeah, I do now. Also, I thought there was a lot of battling, a lot of battling going on today. You saw, I think later, early in the race, there was a 4-place battle for seventh, 8th, 9th, and 10th were all early and all close to each other. Like Lando, I believe it was, the 2 Alphas, and I think AlphaTauri that was and I forgot the other driver, but yeah, they were all battling very well. There was a lot going on this race from start to finish, and you couldn't take your eye away for a second. Though the end part being the best in my opinion, but we'll get to that later. But,
well, you could take your eye away, but then you're gonna end up being like Sainz in the beginning. You know?
That's true.
Well, I don't think anybody wanted anything. I don't think anybody else wanted to do that. So
I feel like also Perez and Russell battled a lot today, which is really cool. I think they've been a really we've never really talked about Russell versus Perez, but there's been a lot of battles between the two of them. France, for example, where Russell passed Perez on the last lap of the safety car to reclaim 3rd position. Even Singapore, I think they battled for a little bit. Today they battled quite hard, and I think Perez got the edge on Russell, right? Did he finish a little higher than Russell with the penalty?
Let's have a look here, because I think Russell was P5 for sure.
I think
and
was 4th. Yeah, Perez was 4th.
Yeah.
So maybe without the penalty, maybe Russell could have been closer. But Perez was on the charge at the last laps. Again, maybe he
charging bull.
Say he had a front wing intact the whole race. Could have been a different story, you know. Who knows? But yeah, Perez and Russell battled really, really well.
Let's get on to the fun stuff, like the K-Mag finishing P9.
That's later in the race. We'll talk about K-Mag later.
That's the most important part of the race, bro. What are you talking about? That's the most important part of the race.
The
was
most
K-Mag.
important part was a man on pole that spun around, so you shut your mouth, Ferrari.
Bro!
Right,
You just not gonna leave it alone.
Lap 13, Lewis, the iconic radio message, hammer time. Oh, I missed that radio message so much. I thought it was gonna push. Next thing I see the man pulling into the pit lane. I was like, what the fuck? So he took those mediums 13 laps, and I was thinking, I guess the mediums don't work well in this track. I can't see why a driver would take these tires past 20 laps. Cough, cough, Max Verstappen. The mediums just did not.
The strategy.
They weren't, I guess, the durability went off a cliff in the early stages of the race. Obviously, the track wasn't rubbered in. The track hasn't evolved yet in terms of pace and stuff.
It wasn't moisturized.
Sure. Jesus Christ. So yeah, we saw a lot of people struggling early on, and yeah, Max pit a lap after Hamilton to cut off the undercut, and then shortly after, we had Mr. Valtteri Bottas proving that the tires maybe weren't working that well. I think flat spotting his tires, spitting out and beaching his car on turn 18 or turn 12, I believe, or one of the later turns in the lap, on lap 18, causing a safety car, which kind of neutralized things for a little bit. Leclerc played beautifully into this because he still hasn't pit from his mediums yet, and as he was about to pit, safety car gets pulled out, so he saves about like half his time pitting, basically a free pit stop. That must have relieved some of the stress you earned from the Sainz incident, didn't it?
Yeah, it did a bit, but then, I'd rather have two Ferraris on the grid than one Ferrari, if we're being honest. But, oh, we at least finished on the podium,
But yeah,
so we
a
can look
lot
for
of
that.
people benefited from this early safety car, especially this guy, Fernando Alonso, who would then cause another safety car 4 laps after.
The Chad of the session, Alonso. That's my
Do
boy
you
right
wanna
there. That's my
explain what
boy.
kind of engine he had?
A rocket ship. He had a rocket ship.
So basically,
You know,
Both Stroll and
future
Alonso,
teammates, by the way.
future team,
Future
right?
teammates.
That's a good point. I forgot about that. Future teammates, were racing
Off to a
along.
great start. A great start. Amazing. Amazing.
Mega stacked. They were racing along the back straight after turn 11. Uh, Stroll was ahead, I believe, right? Alonso was gonna pass.
Yeah.
Both move over left at the same time. Pretty stupidly. Alonso just rides on Stroll's back tire, rear left, and you see Alonso's car just.
Rides.
He
That
started.
shit was a platform. He was like, noom. I thought he was leaving JFK for a second. I was scared he was gonna hit my house.
Martin
I got
Brundle
nervous.
said he almost popped up on the radar for the Texas International Airport, Dallas International.
I wouldn't be surprised if he did, because
That
he
was a scary
flew.
incident because I said earlier that if it was 2010, we would have saw like a Mark Webber type incident. It's like the same thing. Like he took flight damn near, but all the downforce in these new cars really prevented the damage to be a lot better than it would have been, which is really good. But a lot of cars picked up a lot of damage due to the debris. Well, Alonso for starters, just fucking, I don't know how that car kept going after. The side pod was badly damaged. The floor was damaged. The wing mirror damn near, or did fall off later in the race.
Tires are damaged. We have tire damage. Tire
Poor
damage.
Lance, though. I mean, a great drive from him. He was
Alonso was like,
really,
nope,
really fast.
not having it.
And Alonso's like, fuck you, teammate.
What a Chad. What a Chad. Denying him victory.
Yeah, so that
Oh,
was a
man.
pretty crazy incident. And, yeah, so that was crazy. Initiating another safety car, but you had people. I think Magnussen picked up some damage. Lando picked up damage with Hurt Me, because that's my guy. And yeah, another race under safety car. And there were questions of, could the one stop work because of all the safety car laps? You're not really stressing the tires as much as you would under green flag running. So maybe Lewis's and Max's hards could take him to the end of the race. Well, no, Lewis a couple laps later will pit for hards and Max for mediums with Charles, and we'll explain how that went in a little while. But yeah, that big crash led to Stroll DNFing sadly, and Alonso suffering a lot of damage, which would then later he would recover from, which is a really, really good recovery drive.
What a Chad. This is a Chad. Alonso. The Chad.
Also, that lap 30 move from Leclerc on Perez. Oh my God, what a move! That late break into turn 12. Do you want to talk about that one? Because that's your boy, right?
Oh yeah, my guy lunged down on the inside, and you already know how it goes. Defending off.
I do know how it goes usually in DNF, like for science, for example. But not this time.
He's not gonna leave it alone. He's not gonna leave it alone. The fact that Sainz started
Spins
on pole. That's spins, bro. Bins. Bins. Can't, bro. Like, honestly.
But anyway, yeah. So Leclerc,
Anyway,
what a lunge.
what a lunge down on the inside, and defending the now double world champion Max Verstappen, and giving him the workout of the race.
Whoa, he overtook
because
first, but
yeah,
we'll get to the Max versus Charles in a little while. But before the Max versus Charles incident, we gotta talk about
he was administering the defense
we gotta talk
to the
about
Minister
why
of Defense.
Max and Charles were in the same place to begin with. Mr. Max Verstappen thought, oh, I'll stroll into the pit lane. There'll be a nice little 2.5 to 3 second stop. I'll get out my medium compound tires and race to the end, right? No. You want to explain what happened?
I actually kind of don't. Wait, what did actually happen? I kind of blanked out for that.
Basically, they took out the wheel gun, right? They took out.
Oh! I just blanked out for a moment. I remember. Damn. I do gotta say, the wheel guns in 22, they work fan-fucking-tastic. Fan-fucking-tastic. You had one job, spin. It did not spin. So, the wheel guns, they just don't work, and not only did Max Verstappen get the world record-breaking, absolute world record-breaking pit stop so fast. It was so fast, bro.
Well, we had another world-breaking pit stop. We'll talk about it in a little while, but
that was the first one. Don't give the spoilers yet. That was the first one.
Basically, the left front tire, that medium compound, wouldn't tighten. So they thought if they would release Max, that tire would come off and he'd lose the race. But it wouldn't tighten. So.
They should have just done that. They honestly just should have done that. I don't understand why they didn't do that.
That would have been dope.
That would have been pretty cool.
Yeah, so it was like 11.6 second or 11.8 second pit stop, which Leclerc was able to pit and come out in front of Max, and Mr. Hamilton, who pit a lap before for hard tires, got a 5.5 to 6 second gap on both Leclerc and Verstappen. And I was hoping they would both fight each other to A, hold each other up, and B, use those medium compound tires. That way their tires would fall off towards the end of the race, and Lewis could drive him to the distance. But that didn't happen, did it? But we'll talk about that in a little while. We talk about the 12-second damn near pit stop for Verstappen, the new world record. Well, that was beaten a couple laps later.
So fast it was that I think we could all just explain it through. No. It was fast. It was fast. So fast
by the Aston Martins. The Aston Martins.
Yes, the Aston Martins. But so fast was that pit stop that we had the best radio message of the thing.
Beautiful.
You know how it went?
Fucking beautiful.
Beautiful. Fucking beautiful. That's how fast it was.
But yeah, Leclerc would eventually get passed by Verstappen on the straight into turn 12, which then I thought Verstappen would drive away completely, like right away. But no, Leclerc kept fighting, stayed within a second for like a couple laps.
That's my boy, bro. That's my boy.
Until I just
That's
saw
my boy.
Until he dropped Leclerc and pushed after Hamilton. But then on lap 43, Sebastian Vettel came in for a stop, and the car was stuck on the jacks. Wheels wouldn't come off, and he was there for a 17-second stop, which, if the stop was normal, it would have put Vettel into 6th place, and he could be fighting for 5th and 4th. Instead, he came out in 13th place. He came out in 13th place. But was able to recover some points thanks to an absolutely incredible drive. We knew Aston Martin had the pace, but just imagine if things went right for Stroll and Vettel. I think they could have been on for like a 4 or 5. Who knows? Also, Lando Norris, another great drive from him. Even though getting the damage early on, went back.
And the shit Claren.
Came.
Oh God.
Back to 12th. Finished in 6th. I mean, that guy is just the best driver on the grid, in my opinion.
Cap.
He's better than shit clerk.
No, no, that's
No,
cab, bro.
but speaking of McLaren, I did not hear or see the other McLaren. Like I think he was just 15th place the
There was
whole
another
race.
McLaren. What McLaren? There was only one. I saw Lando. There was only one. You mean to tell me there was two McLarens on the
Yo,
grid?
I thought he would be so
Oh,
good
let me
at this
check.
race. I
I
thought
don't see one on the grid.
I thought Daniel would have done really really well for this race.
Who's Daniel?
All right, we get it now. We get it. I thought he would have done well because he's fighting for a seat, and I thought
What's he?
a seat.
What seat is he fighting for?
Haas.
Bro's fighting to stay awake. There ain't no seat he fighting for.
Did you
He's
hear what he
fighting
said
to
about,
stay awake.
IndyCar? He said he doesn't want to do it.
No, what do you say about it?
He said he like
doesn't want to do it.
ovals scare him.
Regular, he can't even. Man, get this man out of here,
So,
bro.
I thought he would
what
dominate this
happened
race
to
and
him?
do really well, but 15th place. I think it's going to be the end of Daniel Ricciardo in Formula One, sadly.
Big
yeah, that's sad.
the high horse.
Anyway, we had the battle we were all waiting for the season, right? Mercedes just did not go. It did not. This season did not pan out the way Mercedes would have thought, right? Even for a little bit. It's the poor pissing, the poor performance, the poor aero performance. It all adds up to a really underperforming and underachieving season for Mercedes. But again, they had upgrades. They had a was it a side pod upgrade or a
No, it was the front wing, the
right the front right
the
okay right the front wing.
spacers coming out. Oh no, and actually side pod
Yeah.
upgrades.
So,
Yeah, side pod upgrades
they-
in the
I
front
think they-
wing,
I think they
and the
did a little
diffuser,
Yeah.
diffuser underneath. Diffuser, they had
So,
the upgrade.
Yeah, this is all aero improvements to make the car better in like the high speed and low speed corners.
That they should have had in the beginning.
Yeah, sadly, and yeah, we got the last laps battle of Verstappen versus Hamilton. Something we've missed as Formula One fans for over a year now. And yeah, we had Verstappen drop Leclerc, and then had around 10 to 15 laps to catch the 6-second gap to Hamilton. And it wasn't coming down. It started to come down fast in the beginning. And then Max pushed more and more and used his tires more and more, and the gap stayed pretty steady. And then you blink, it's a 1-second gap. Max is in the DRS. Battles with Hamilton. Passes him in the run down to turn 12. One of the most popular overtaking spots on the whole track. And yeah, lap 50, Lewis gets passed by Max Verstappen. And I thought he had a chance to repass Verstappen because, again, Max is on the medium compound tires for quite some time. He took him past what other drivers took the medium tires without even fighting that hard. I mean, look, Max was fighting Leclerc very, very hard and pushing hard in clear traffic to catch Lewis. So I thought, hey, maybe his medium compound tires will die and hit a cliff, and it'll allow Lewis to catch back up, especially because Lewis stayed in the DRS range for around like 5 to 8 laps after he got overtaken. But no, Max would eventually start creating that gap that we all know and have come used to seeing to around 4 seconds, ran away from the race and won. Yeah, quite convincingly on the last couple laps. But last corner battle between Alonso and Vettel and Magnussen
K-Mag.
which is a really, really good battle.
That was literally like the battle between Vettel and
Alonso.
Alonso.
Right up to the
Vettel's just
line.
distributing these last lap battles. That's what Vettel's just doing. He's just distributing these last lap battles, which is so nice to see.
Last lap
Especially-
battles on his last season in Formula 1.
Yeah, that is such a satisfying thing to see. Props to that man. What an animal.
Yeah, I mean,
What an
he
animal.
drove like he was about to win that race, and then like the last.
Yeah,
those last
and he was winning the race too. He was in P1 leading the race for, I think,
he
of...
could have been fighting
laps
for like
to-
P5, P4. I really, really mean it. I mean, Russell and Perez
Yeah.
finished what P5, P4. They both had damaged front rings,
4 and 5 respectively, yep.
and they both had damaged front wings. So imagine what that Aston Martin was quick, bro. Just imagine what that could have done if it was given the chance to perform. But yeah. Overall, I thought it was a really, really good coda. One of the best ones I've watched yet. action every single lap, whether that be in the midfield, the top end of the table, or the lower end of the table. There was just battle after battle after battle, big incidents, safety cars, last lap battles, a Lewis versus Verstappen battle. There's everything. And posed the question. This was one of Lewis's favorite tracks, right? I think winning 6 out of the last 9 USA Grand Prix, something like that. Can he do it?
6 last. Yep, 6.
Can Lewis Hamilton win a race in Formula One this season? He's got 3 left. I don't think
Best bet is Sao Paulo. Best bet
right?
Sao Paulo,
Or in
but
Mexico, I don't think. Sadly,
that's way too straight, and there's no way.
saw
That's
how
gonna
that
be either a
flew.
Checo or a Verstappen. Verstappen's probably gonna win that one, or Checo. Sao Paulo's his best bet.
I believe so as well.
I hope that they bring upgrades to Sao Paulo.
I think they're done. I think they're done.
Yeah, I think they're done with the upgrades. So, and I think Ferrari's also done with the upgrades because, as we've heard,
Carl confirmed that in the post-race interview, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, the season's done, right? For a Red Bull crown double champion, drivers and constructors. But yeah, it was a really, 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 really good USA Grand Prix, and yeah, we look forward to the next race in Mexico, and again, I believe Red Bull will come out with that one as well. There are a couple tricky sections in Mexico, but let's be real, it's mainly a power track, right? You have that long pit straight, that like 3 mile long. It's not 3 miles, but you get the expression. You have a couple long straightaways. The S section and the stadium, the S and stadium section are both pretty tough and require high aerodynamic performance, but it's mainly a power track, and I think the Ferrari and Red Bull are gonna dominate. But to be fair to Mercedes, you saw in Sector 1 in the S section of Coda that Hamilton took off there. I mean, the gap would be around 4 seconds after the pit straight, and then in the S section, Hamilton would increase the gap to like 8 tenths. Like, he would gain a lot on Verstappen through the S section. Clearly, those aerodynamic upgrades worked, but I just don't think the Mercedes has the pace the Red Bull has. I think it's still
absolutely it doesn't have it. I mean, it's not even like there. That's like pairing up the McLaren with the
McLaren.
The shit McLaren against the Ferrari. You know, they got no pace.
I mean, you have you can see on Lewis's onboards, for example, like they still suffer from a little bit of porpoising. You see his helmet move constantly. Not as bad as what it used to be, but the car just isn't getting the performance it needs. I actually recently watched a video from the race, and they were explaining that when making the car, they had 2 routes to go in, and they believed going in the route they went in would result in a better output than the route they didn't go in, and that they now realize that they should have went the route that they didn't go in.
What were the routes?
They had to do something with aerodynamics. I think one of the mistakes they made was thinning out the side pod. The bulky side pods are clearly what's working in Formula One.
Bulky? Don't they technically have bulkier ones?
No, they have more thin ones. But they re-implemented the bulkier ones. But remember, Mercedes were the first ones to like really thin their side pods.
I don't know. They're the way their car is shaped.
Earlier on in the season.
I do want to take a look right now. The W13
original, when they had pretty thin side pods compared to like Red Bull and other teams. Even Alfa Romeo tried the thinner side pods as well, but they went back to the more bulkier ones throughout the mid-season.
Yeah, Alfa Romeo still hasn't even changed the ventilation on the bottom. It looked like the Aston Martins, and that's why their cars performing like dog shit.
It's mainly an aerodynamic thing that's really hurting them.
Yeah.
Performance. But
yeah, no, I see it. I could see it now. See it now. Yeah, that's.
Hopefully, we see an increased performance next season for Mercedes and McLaren. All the Mercedes cars, to be fair, were struggling. We had Latifi quickest in the speed traps today. 203 miles per hour on the straightaway. That was pretty cool.
You already know. Go Tifi pushing, giving everybody the work. You already know it.
Yeah, the 5-second penalty. Did you see how he just fucking shoved? Was it Nick or one of
He yeeted Mick. It was Mick. He yeeted him. He was like, "Nope, you are not getting
I'm
past
not making this
Goatee."
corner, and you aren't either.
No one gets past the corner.
But yeah, again, Mexico Grand Prix coming up next weekend, I believe. Your quick predictions on that?
Do I even have to give predictions at this point? Do we really need predictions at this point? I mean, it's kind of obvious what the predictions are. I mean, even the predictions themselves know what the predictions are. You know? I mean, let's be real. If I were to place, like, a bet, like,
You would
Lando Norris wins the Mexican Grand Prix or something like that would be the most... People will look, the streamers look at me like as if I'm on crack right
If
now.
I placed the same thing about Leclerc, I'd be looked at like I have crack.
Okay. Okay, he has a chance at least. Which, actually, I should say this. Ferrari did not, in any part of the race, except for the beginning, that wasn't Ferrari's fault. That was not Ferrari's fault. Was not. Did not fuck up the strategy at all. So props to Ferrari.
It only took him, what, 18 races?
Hey man, that's improvement, bro. That's improvement. We're improving, okay? We are improving. Just like McLaren's pace this season. We are improving.
Nah, that shit is deproving. That shit is improving. That shit gets... Whoa, Lando Norris is that team. It should be Lando Claren. It shouldn't be McLaren. He's literally carrying his poor
I
back.
can't believe y'all hire Oscar Piastri to replace Danny Rick. Y'all need to hire
And our cars.
better builders for the cars.
Danny Rick might
Because
drive
even
the
if you have Max behind the wheel, I'm sorry, but P6 is the highest y'all are getting.
Even
if you put Max behind the wheel.
Yeah, I agree.
Even if you put Senna behind the wheel, you're still getting P6.
Our car might be driven by
Okay, actually that might be Cap, but okay.
Danny Rick might drive our car, but our car is Danny Dick.
More like Danny
bad.
Ick.
We did. I thought we weren't gonna finish in the points like early on, especially when I heard Lando got damaged. I thought, yeah, it's all over. We're about to walk out of Zach Brown's home Grand Prix with 0 points. But again,
well, it wasn't that he had like damage, but he just had like a crap ton of debris. It was like a garbage
that
truck.
damages the car.
He was just carrying Alonso's trash today.
That's damage.
Damage from the rocket ship. The rocket ship.
Hopefully next
Oh
race,
man,
we'll see a bigger fight between Lewis and Max, but I don't think so. I think we only got that fight due to the fucking blunder that Red Bull had, right? We weren't gonna get that fight.
Yeah, Red Bull had a Ferrari moment there. Not gonna lie, they really did have a Ferrari moment right there with that pit stop.
No.
It's a very rare that actually Red Bull gives such
You called Aston Martin the Green Bull. They definitely deserve that name today.
They do.
Just copying Red Bull.
Yeah, exactly.
It's copying.
Exactly.
All right.
They copied their mistakes, and copied this exact way they fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
It would be a coincidence if it was the same tire. That would be a coincidence.
Yeah, Mexico's always produces fireworks. You know, now that the season's over, like Red Bull and Verstappen both won. Hopefully, we can see some insane battling like we did today, like gloves off, just let the drivers race. Hopefully, we get some more last lap battles between Lewis, Max, and hopefully Charles Leclerc could join that as well. If he wasn't so slow, that would be pretty cool.
Bro!
I'm joking.
How about you go build him a better car, my guy? If you put Leclerc in a Red Bull, bro, you'd be getting battles.
Definitely.
Why can't we just give a Red Bull to Lando, Leclerc, and Max, and just have all three of them just duel it out? And you know what? Do me a favor and just slide another Red Bull into Lewis's hands and Russell's hands and Perez's hands. You know what? Just give everyone a Red Bull. How about that? Just give everyone a Red Bull. Then that's gonna get a good race. I guarantee that race is gonna be fire. Because then I actually want to see who's gonna win that race. That would be a crazy race. Imagine everyone gets. Yeah, I know Latifi would win. hands down, Latifi would win.
But anyway,
So fast.
Mexico Grand Prix in T-minus 7 days. We're definitely going to have another video out on Wednesday explaining all the news coming out in Formula 1. Hopefully you guys...
Wait, what about the predictions? I have my predictions. Mexico Grand Prix. We have P1, Nicholas Latifi. P2,
Nicholas Latifi.
Mick Schumacher. P3, Lance Stroll. P4, we have... Who do we have? P4, Danny Rick. P5, P5, Guan Yu Zhou. P6, Albon.
My genuine predictions are, I'm going to go P3 Lance. I'm going to go Lance P3. And then
What? Oh, you're serious about that?
Yeah,
Okay.
and then I'm going to go...
You're serious about that?
I'm going to go 1-2 Perez Verstappen. Perez first, Verstappen second.
I'm going to go with...
Charles spinning on the last corner.
I'm going to go with Sainz,
Spinning?
Leclerc.
Oh.
I'm going to go with Sainz,
Crashing out?
Checo, Leclerc. Then I want to go with Sainz, Leclerc, Checo.
Okay.
Like that.
Well, we'll have another video out on Wednesday, which will actually stream, giving you all the news in Formula 1. Also...
No, we're not. Just kidding.
Also, we will have our... I mentioned last podcast that we have our own main YouTube channels that we're going to start posting on, as well as our combined one. All of our own racing clips, which we get from rental racing, league racing, endurance racing, etc. We'll also post some of our racing vlogs there because we get some moments before even going to their track. So,
it's in development like the W14 is.
Yeah. So we'll keep you guys, if you guys want to watch our racing content, we're both pretty good. I'm definitely the better driver, no offense. But
yeah, none taken.
Nah, I'm joking. But Bryan's really, really good. So if you guys want to check out his content, he's going to start posting as well. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the USA Grand Prix as much as we did. Hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. If you have any thoughts of your own, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and hit us on our socials, which will be in the description below. I'll catch you guys in the next episode, everybody. Peace out and peace.